All right, JB, on a chilly 49-degree day in New England, the usual sellout crowd, better than 68,000, still making their way into Gillette Stadium in Foxborough as we get ready for the Indianapolis Colts and the New England Patriots. Remember, you can get coverage of every NFL game on NFL Mobile only from Verizon. For the Patriots, it is a chase for best record in the AFC for home field advantage in the playoffs as they battle with Baltimore, Houston, Pittsburgh, and Oakland. And New England 2 games over the Jets for the lead in the AFC East. Hi, everybody. Marv Albert along with Rich Gannon. And prior to this season, this matchup would be considered one of the marquee get-togethers in the NFL. Different story now these days. Peyton Manning sidelined, and the Colts off to a disastrous record of 0-11.
Well, Marv, you're right. It's been a difficult season for the Colts without Peyton Manning, and now they're trying to shake some things up in hopes of get their first win of the season. This week alone, they replaced the starting quarterback and fired the defensive coordinator.
So Indianapolis has gone from Peyton Manning to Kerry Collins to Curtis Painter to Dan Orlovsky out of the University of Connecticut, a member of that Detroit Lion team back in 2008 that went 0-16. Orlovsky started 7 games, and he lost all 7.
Yeah, he's been in the league, though, for 7 years, and yet he's making just his 8th career start. Really what the Colts are looking for is more production and consistency at the quarterback position. I think that's the biggest reason for the change. I think it's really important for him to get off to a good start. He can do that by just running this offense, taking care of the football, and making good decisions.
Rich, it's certainly been an eventful week for the Colts. You have the new quarterback and a new defensive coordinator. Larry Coyer let go, and linebackers coach Mike Murphy takes over.
Yeah, of all the weeks to take over, and in a way I feel sorry for Mike Murphy, and not an easy position to be in, but he's been with the organization for the past 14 seasons, and he really understands this system. Now here's what he's trying to improve upon, and it's not good. 31st against the run, 18th in pass defense, and a sorry 29th in total defense. Too many good players on that side of the ball to be 29th.
As for the New England Patriots, Tom Brady, the AFC Offensive Player of the Month, continues to put up video game numbers.
He's having an MVP-type season when you look at how well Tom Brady has played. It's really incredible. You know, you begin to run out of superlatives when you try and describe how well he plays the position of quarterback. He makes it look so easy. I think what he gives you is consistent winning performances each and every week. He's been really fun to watch.
Brady also has 2 of the most dynamic receivers in the game, Wes Welker along with the 6'6" tight end Rob Gronkowski.
2 of Tom Brady's favorite targets, Welker and Gronkowski. Welker once again leads the league in receptions and yards, and he has a great feel for where the holes are in coverage. And Gronkowski already 11 touchdowns this season, many of them coming in the scoring zone where Brady looks for the tight ends.
All right, Rich, how about your Home Depot tools to victory?
A real challenge for the Patriots offensive line as they go up against Dwight Freeney and Robert Mathis, who have 179 sacks between them. And very few players in the league right now are as versatile as Julian Edelman, who's doing it all, playing offense, defense, and special teams for the Patriots.
All right, those are the tools, and as a bonus, you're telling me you also have keys?
Oh, absolutely. Colts still looking for that first win, and in order to get it, they're going to have to do something special, like score on defense or special teams, because they are facing a Patriots team that has an NFL best 37-5 record in the month of December, going all the way back to 2001.
For more Home Depot player stats, log on to CBSSports.com. It is the Patriots and the Colts. New England an overwhelming favorite against a Colt team that could go 0 for the season. You're watching the NFL on CBS. The Indianapolis Colts won the flip they will receive as Dan Orlovsky gets set to take the field. And the rookie from Rutgers, Joe LaFege, signed as an undrafted rookie free agent, is back as the deep man. Steven Gostkowski getting set to kick it off. The Patriots 8-3. They've won their last 3 this after losing 2 in a row. 3 straight victories, convincing wins at the Jets, home against Kansas City, last week at Philadelphia. The Colts 0-11. Last time they had that record, 1986, and they finished up then at 3-13. LaFege will stay in the end zone. They'll bring it out to the 20-yard line. A look at the Colts offensive line, anchored by 5-time Pro Bowl center Jeff Saturday. Saturday and Ryan Dean, the only veterans up front. Backs and receivers, 5-time Pro Bowl wideout Reggie Wayne, as you'd expected, does not have his usual numbers in the absence of Peyton Manning, but he leads the Colts with 47 receptions. Joseph Adai and Jerome Felton in the backfield. Felton, a recent addition to the team, playing the fullback position. Adai finding a hole and gets across the 25-yard line, but there is a penalty marker down. Referee Ron Winter.
Holding. Offense number 63. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Well, it is on the 13-year man out of North Carolina, Jeff Saturday. Let's check out the Patriots defensively. Up front, Andre Carter leads New England with 9 sacks. The linebackers, Rob Ninkovich, all over the field. And in the secondary, Devin McCourty returning after missing 2 games with a shoulder injury. As mentioned earlier, New England's defensive numbers not what they have been in the past. Orlovsky to throw, and it is caught for a first down. Pierre Garçon making his 47th catch of the season, and he is tackled by Devin McCourty.
You know, Marv, it's crazy how fast things change in this game. Think about what happened with Orlovsky. He was released this summer. Peyton Manning can't play. Kerry Collins gets hurt and goes on injury reserve. Curtis Painter struggles, and now he's starting against the Patriots.
Originally drafted by Detroit, 5th round, spent 5 years with the Lions, spent some time with the Houston Texans last season. Here is Adai. Andre Carter making the stop.
Well, when you're 0-11, you can expect there to be changes, and that's what happened this week, replacing the defensive coordinator and the quarterback here in Indy. Offensively, they've scored just 14 touchdowns all season, are currently dead last in scoring. And defensively, it hasn't been all that much better. They're currently 29th. All around, it's been a very disappointing year for the Colts.
3rd down and 4. I think disappointing is kind of an understatement.
It's being nice.
Yes. Orlovsky in trouble. Vince Wilfork with the sack.
Well, the big man inside, Vince Wilfork, he's going to be working on Ryan Dean, the right guard, and he just beats him right around the edge. Dan Orlovsky's got no chance right there. And that's what Vince Wilfork gives you inside. He can be very disruptive, not only in the running game, but the passing game as well.
The triple threat, Julian Edelman, is back for the McAfee punt. Breaking tackles. Reaching out to the 45-yard line, Terrence Johnson making the stop, and here is Tom Brady taking the field.
Well, he's an elite player at his position, and I really think that, talk about a guy like Tom Brady, he's kind of half quarterback, half coach, half coordinator. I think the best thing about his game, no indecision. He knows exactly where to go with the ball.
Tom telling us the other day that Bill Belichick has been honest all week about the slow start last week in Philadelphia, has not liked the way we've finished games, has not let up all week. Although they're playing an 0-11 team as Aaron Hernandez makes the reception. Jacob Lacey with the tackle. Picked up 7. Major change for the Patriots up front. with Dan Connolly sidelined by injury. Ryan Wendell bothered by a groin problem. Nick McDonald out of Grand Valley State in his second NFL season, making his NFL debut, promoted from the practice squad. This is Kevin Falk, short of the first down. The Colts defensively 29th in the league, but Dwight Freeney always dangerous. 5.5 sacks on the season. The linebackers, Pat Angerer, leading the NFL in total tackles. The secondary on the shaky side, but right corner Gerard Powers with 2 interceptions, 1 return for a touchdown, and Antoine Bethea, 2-time Pro Bowl free safety. How about the Colts, Rich? Only 5 interceptions for the season.
Yeah, they're struggling. The pass rush not tied in with the coverage units.
Brady on the keeper, has the first down.
Well, you're going to see a lot of players come in and off the field for the New England Patriots. We saw Nate Soldier. He'll come in and he'll be the extra tight end. They're going to bring in Marcus Cannon. He's going to get some snaps at right tackle. Sebastian Vollmer's not playing today. And, of course, Marv, as you mentioned, Nick McDonald, we saw him take a lot of practice snaps. This is the 4th different starting center this season.
McDonald promoted from the practice squad. He was with Green Bay last season. And Brady with the open receiver, Wes Welker, for another first down, and that's catch number 83 for Welker.
Well, John Madden told me several weeks ago, when you watch Wes Welker, he creates more separation and space between himself and defenders than any other player in the game. I mean, that's incredible to have that much separation between he and Jacob Lacey.
I mentioned what Belichick had been talking about throughout the week. The handoff to Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis, with a flag thrown. Tom Brady saying that he's been on the team all week. Obviously, he does not want the Patriots to take the Colts lightly.
Yeah, Colts have a problem with substitutions, and they're gonna make this difficult for new defensive coordinator Mike Murphy.
Defense, 12 men on the field at the snap. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Well, you can see right here, I mean, they've got, my guess is they've got too many players on the field, and that's trying to get them off the field. And what makes it difficult is Tom Brady's not going to give them a chance. Up tempo, you get a good look there at Mike Murphy. He has not called the defense since 1983 when he was with the Saskatchewan Roughriders 28 years ago.
The Rough Riders of the Canadian Football League. Incomplete. Brady try to flip it ahead to Green Ellis. What I remember about the Saskatchewan Rough Riders is that, and we talked about it last night with Murphy, the fact that there was also, the Ottawa Rough Riders? You had 2 different Rough Riders.
A lot of Rough Riders in Canada.
Yeah, one had a hyphen, though, I believe.
Yeah. But I'll say this about Mike Murphy. He's in a very difficult position. And, it's not like riding a bicycle. You just don't jump back in as a play caller and get comfortable. It takes several weeks, and I think he's got a very tough assignment ahead of him.
Kevin Falk, the running back. Kevin Falk galloping his way. There was a fumble on the play. Colts claim they have it. Ernie Sims, the man who took it away from Kevin Falk. Ernie Sims with the recovery. A rare takeaway by the Colts. Here's another look. Falk. Yes, he lost the ball. Bill Belichick throwing the challenge flag as he felt that Kevin Falk was down by contact before that ball came loose. So they are checking it out upstairs.
And I believe that he is. You get a good look at Kevin Falk as he's going to come back on his back and his shoulder, and then he's down, and then the ball comes out. So I think this one is going to work out in favor of the New England Patriots. Still, though, as a coach, you hate to see the ball on the ground, whether he's down or not. We talk about ball security and how important that is for those running backs.
Indianapolis Colts felt that they had a rare takeaway. They come into this afternoon's game with only 10 takeaways for the entire season.
Yeah, and they're just struggling, just about every category defensively, and not stop the run. Sacks are down because they're playing from behind. And in the past with Peyton Manning, they get out in front, they get off to these big leads, and the defense could tee off and go rush the quarterback. Well, that's no longer the case, and they're not the biggest front seven in football. You look at Freeney and Mathis, they're 265, 245, and they wear down. They're on the field a lot. Look at time of possession. The time of possession has certainly worked against the Colts this year, and a big reason why, Marv, as you point out, are the turnovers.
I will get the call from the referee, Ron Winter.
After review, the runner was down by contact before the ball came loose. Before his loose ball, third down, just short of the 21-yard line. The game clock will start on the ready for play. New England is not charged with a team timeout.
So the Patriots maintain possession. Patriots very effective on opening drives.
And think about how much time we were at a practice on Friday they spent in this part of the field. Their red zone or scoring zone offense. They had a walk through, they had a jog through, and they had a run through in this part of the field.
Branch to the right. Welker left. Brady can't find anyone. And Brady slides. Brady showing some nifty moves in last week's game at Philadelphia.
Yeah, this is not what the Patriots want to see from Tom Brady. The thing that he does do a very good job of is he slides in the pocket, does a nice job stepping up, and he's going to have to do that today with Freeney and Mathis. But this is where he's got to be careful. You can get hurt in those awkward slides like that from Tom Brady.
So here's Steven Gostkowski with a 39-yard attempt, 19 for 23 for the season. New England with a 3-0 lead, 5.5 gone by. First quarter here in Foxborough. Marv Albert, Rich Gannon back at Gillette Stadium, Foxborough. Steven Gostkowski with that 39-yard field goal just moments ago, and getting ready to kick it away to Joe LaFage. And again puts it into the end zone and deep. So it's a touchback. They'll bring it out to the 20. Will step away. Colts five-time Pro Bowl center Jeff Saturday receiving a nice reception earlier here in Foxborough. You may recall back in late July when, as the Colt player representative, he paid tribute to Patriots owner Robert Kraft for helping save the NFL's new collective bargaining agreement, ending the lockout despite going through the difficulty of dealing with the death of his wife, Myra. There was a big hug from Jeff, who said, without Bob Kraft, this deal does not get done. He's a man who helped save football. And we saw that warm embrace. Catch made by Reggie Wayne. Stopped by Kyle Arrington, the right corner. We're set for an update. Let's go to JB and Boomer.
Hey, Marv, a good start for the Redskins.
It is, JB. First series of the game, the Redskins go 8 plays, 82 yards, capped off by a Roy Halou 2-yard touchdown run. Redskins up 7-0.
Jets play 3 games in 4 weeks against the NFC East. Marv and Rich.
RJB, Jets coming off that win at home last week against the Buffalo Bills. A dive is stopped. Andre Carter making the tackle. And getting back to Jeff Saturday and Bob Kraft, I mentioned that it was a lot of warmth between the two, something that Patriot owner Bob Kraft will never forget. However, Jeff did say the other day, I think our man hugs are probably over. From now on, it'll be a handshake. And there is the owner of the New England Patriots, and what a success story this franchise has been. A dive again. Last week, Donald Brown seeing quite a bit of action. Played very well last week at Carolina, carrying 14 times for 80 yards and a touchdown, and we will see more of Donald Brown as this game progresses.
Yeah, and I think without Peyton Manning, there's been more of an emphasis on the running game. They try to make it much more of a priority. They finally added a fullback to the roster. In fact, a couple of them. Mahaffey was added a couple of weeks ago. Today we see Jerome Felton. And more two-back than we've ever seen in the past from the Indianapolis Colts.
Orlovsky looking at a 3rd down and 9 out of the gun. And the catch is made for a 1st down by Reggie Wayne. Picked up 12 on that play.
Well, the Colts offensive line does a really nice job giving protection. You're going to see Reggie Wayne up top. People forget, certainly Bill Belichick hasn't forgotten. He brought it up to us this week that the Colts still have plenty of firepower on offense. You think about Wayne and Garcon and Colley and Joseph Adai. These are the same players that helped them win 14 games a couple years ago.
Adai and Felton line up in the eye.
You see Dan Orlovsky changing the play at the line of scrimmage. He's going to probably get him from one run to another based on the front.
Adai reaching out to the 45-yard line. Picked up 3 on the play. Dan Orlovsky is opened up by completing his first 3 passes. Talking with Dan last night, telling us that his wife Tiffany expecting triplets.
3 quarterbacks.
In about a month. That's the hat trick for Tiffany and Dan. And yes, they're all boys. Dan Orlovsky, born and raised in Shelton, Connecticut, just outside of Bridgeport. Played his college ball at University of Connecticut. Became a starter as a freshman, as a senior, among the leading passers in the nation. But in the NFL, still looking for his first ever win. He swings it out. Adai is stopped. Just a short game met by Nate Jones, another recent addition to the roster. Was with Miami earlier this year. Played for Dallas and Denver.
I thought it was interesting in talking to Dan Orlovsky last night, Marv, and he said that, he never has really had the opportunity to throw the ball to players like Adai and Wayne and Garcon. It's, first time this week that he really got the extended reps, and he felt like as the week went along, he felt more and more comfortable with those particular players.
3rd down and 6. Here they come. Orlovsky on the run is able to complete for a 1st down. The tight end, Jacob Tamme, is run out of bounds by Nico Kotovides. That's a 20-yard gain.
Well, nice job by the quarterback, Orlovsky, stepping up in the pocket, sliding and buying some time, and you see Jacob Tamme. That's the matchups that you want. The tight end on the linebacker, Kotovides, and you can't get that enough. They've got to be able to work the tight ends in the middle of the field against these linebackers and safeties.
And Tamme playing for the injured Dallas Clark. And now Donald Brown is in the backfield with Jerome Felton. 1st down for the Colts. Play fake. Orlovsky completes again. Short of the 1st down. It's the fullback, Jerome Felton, making his Colt debut. Stopped by Kyle Arrington. Felton, originally a 5th-round pick by Detroit with Carolina this season, waived and signed by the Colts this past week. Do you know that this Indianapolis roster has 3 players from that 0-16 Detroit Lion Club back in 2008? Orlovsky along with Felton and linebacker Ernie Sims. I don't know about the karma there. Donald Brown try to accelerate.
Am I going to circle him? Well, you look right there at Matthew Slater, and he's getting some reps now at safety. We've seen it out of Julian Edelman. And talking to Bill Belichick on Friday, he says he's got a lot of players that come up to him during the course of the week and want to play on the other side of the ball. A very unselfish group, and Matthew Slater not getting a lot of reps at receiver, so now we're seeing him at defense.
Another 1st down for the Colts. They're at the New England 22. Here is Brown. Works his way inside the 20.
I think the important thing for Dan Orlovsky in this offense is you got a new quarterback, a new cadence, and you want to make sure you get him off to a good start. And talking to Orlovsky last night, he felt like maybe about 70% of the plan was in place for him this week, and they really focused in on concepts and things that he has a history with in this system. And so maybe it's not as much volume, but they really want to make sure that he gets off to a good start in this first quarter.
2nd down and 7 inside the Patriot 20.
And he's gonna call 2 plays in a huddle, maybe a run to the pass. He's going to get in the best one based on the front and coverage.
Again, Brown, this time he's taken down behind the line by the outside linebacker Rob Ninkovich and Vince Wilfork. Lost a yard on that play.
Well, you look how long it's been since the Colts have led in the game, and they've gotten off to just horrific starts in the first quarter. Just 13 points scored in the first 11 games. And that's one of the problems. They have to find a way to get off to better starts.
The last time that they led was back in Week 5 against Kansas City. 3rd down and 8. Orlovsky completes again. Austin Cully right at the marker. Orlovsky is now 7 for 7 for 73 yards. Another Colt first down.
Well, you're going to see in the slot right there, they're just working underneath Collie. And what's happening is Orlovsky's doing a really fine job moving around, sliding, buying some extra time so that the receivers got a chance to work all the way across the formation.
Nice stat line to start things off for Dan Orlovsky. Short set, throws end zone, overthrows with Pierre Garçon, well covered.
But one of the things that Dan Orlovsky has to do is get this ball up and down quicker. He's a little late. He starts to his left. He takes a couple of hitches. And you don't have as much time or the space that you need. Great camera angle by our low end zone camera. But you've got to get that one up and down and give Pierre Garçon a chance in the back of the end zone.
This is the 14th play of the drive. 2nd and 10 at the Patriot 11-yard line. Adai, Joseph Adai, the ball carrier, met by Kyle Arrington, picked up 5.
You look at all the changes that the Colts have had along the offensive line. The only player up front to start every game at his natural position has been center Jeff Saturday. And that's hurt. I mean, it's really hurt the production, the continuity, and the consistency, and that's made it difficult, not only in terms of pass protection, but their ability to run the ball between the tackles.
Adai, the lone setback. Final minute, first quarter. Patriots with a 3-0 lead. Adai driving ahead, close to the goal line. It'll be a 1st and goal for the Colts.
Well, you're going to see Jeff Saturday block back, and the right guard, Mike Pollock, or left guard, Mike Pollock, he comes and kicks out a nice hole up inside for Joseph Adai.
And that will take us to the end of the first quarter. The Colts controlling the ball, a 16-play drive and counting. They are trailing after one. 3-0 will resume with the Colts 1st and goal from inside the 1. Out of the second quarter, the Colts are on the doorstep. This drive has gone 9.5 minutes. The running backs, Adai and Felton. Adai. Let's see where they spot the football. Looked like Wilfork was able to wrap him up before he could cross the goal line.
You get a good penetration. You see on the left side of that offensive line, and that really is what stops this outside run by the Colts.
Quick snap, and it's deflected. A diving attempt that is incomplete. Jacob Tamme diving forward after the tip.
Well, the Colts trying to catch the Patriots off guard, trying to quick snap them, and this ball gets tipped, and clearly that one touches the ground. A little more air on that from Dan Orlovsky, but I really like what I see so far from the Colts, Marv. We talked about time of possession and how important it is in a game like this, and each possession being absolutely critical. The Colts have dominated time of possession through the first quarter, almost 9 more minutes of football. That's what you want to do. Keep Tom Brady on the sideline watching.
And the Colts
Timeout. Indianapolis.
have taken a timeout.
They're first.
When we resume, 3rd and goal from inside the 1. Colts going double tight end. Quinn Ojanoka. Usually a tackle is out there with Jacob Tamme. 3rd and goal inside the 1-yard line. There's movement and flags come flying.
False start. Offense number 69. 5-yard penalty. And it's 3rd down.
And that was Quinn Ojanoka, who was the 2nd tight end called on the penalty.
And what he reacts to is the Patriots are going to shift their front. You see them shift, and when they shift, that causes both tight ends to jump.
3rd down and goal now back at the 6. A dive, the running back. Orlovsky is swallowed up. 2nd sack by the Patriots. Rob Ninkovich, 6-year man from Purdue, comes up with it.
Well, Lincoln Box got to do a better job on the edge. I mean, he doesn't even really get much of Ninkovich and doesn't even give Orlovsky a chance there to even step up. Better job by the right tackle.
So the former Patriot, Adam Vinatieri, comes on for a 31-yard attempt with the angle to the left. High snap. Vinatieri has tied it at 3. So the Colts have to settle for 3 after controlling the football for a long time. How about 19 plays, 68 yards? Colts have the football for 10 minutes and 19 seconds. And they've tied the game off the field goal by Vinatieri. Pat McAfee will kick it off. Julian Edelman at the back of the end zone with the catch. They'll bring it out to the 20-yard line. We're early second. Colts and Patriots tied at 3. Patriots take over. 1st and 10 from their 20-yard line. Play fake. Brady's pass, a difficult one to handle. It's caught, but not much there. Aaron Hernandez picked up 2 on that play. Philip Wheeler making the stop.
Well, the one thing the Patriots know how to do is close out their season by playing their best football in December. And once again, Tom Brady playing lights out. I think with 5 weeks to go, he's right on Aaron Rodgers' coattails for league MVP. And the defense has played better the last month. Injury-wise, I think they should be at full strength come playoff time.
Inside handoff, Green Ellis. Stopped by Gerard Powers. And Jarvis Green Ellis on a 4-yard gain. He's averaging 4 yards a carry along with 7 touchdowns.
You gotta look at A.J. Eads in there. He's taking the place of Pat Angerer, who's out with a knee, questionable return, and that's not good news for the Colts. He's been outstanding. He leads the defense in tackles. He makes plays all over the field. Big loss in the middle of that defense.
Brady with the empty backfield for a 3rd and 4. Makes the completion for a 1st down. Wes Welker on an 8-yard pickup.
Well, very simple here for Wes Welker. He's just going to work straight up the field, and he's just going to run a little curl route right in between the linebacker and the corner now who falls off. And it's all about timing and rhythm in the passing game to fit those balls in between tight coverage.
So Brady now 4 of 5 for 32 yards. Green Ellis picked up perhaps a yard. Tyler Brayton able to make the play along with Antoine Bethea. Patriots 8-3 coming into today. They're tied with Houston, Baltimore, Pittsburgh. Best record in the AFC. Oakland is right behind at 7-4. In the division race, they're 2 games in front of the Jets. Once again, he goes sideline. Again, it is Welker takes a hit. Crowd reacting. They felt he was hit out of bounds. Jacob Lacey making contact as Welker picks up 8.
And Wes Welker, he's just going to outflank the coverage, and Tom Brady gets this ball out quick. And Wes Welker's not the biggest player, but watch this hit right there at the end. Sends him into the Gatorade.
You hate when that happens.
It's a sticky mess.
Oh. Third catch for Welker, 85 on the season, leading the NFL. Game is tied at 3 with 3.5 gone by. Second quarter, play fake, and Brady goes up top. Throws the long ball, and it is almost intercepted. Pass intended for Deion Branch. And Chris Rucker, the rookie out of Michigan State, on the coverage.
And they go right after the rookie. They're trying to run the go route right by him. And Rucker's got pretty good coverage. He does a nice job locating the ball. This is a good alert play by Deion Branch, making sure that Rucker doesn't come down with it.
First punt of the day for the Patriots is Zoltan Mesko. Back behind his 30-yard line, Joe Lefebvre at the 10. Long count. And maybe a delay of game.
Delay of game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains 4th down.
Well, I think they did that intentionally. I don't think Danny Aiken was in any hurry to snap that ball, and maybe it gives Mesko a little bit more room here now to really bang this one.
There's Lefebvre. Here is Mesko handling that high snap. Lefebvre with the return. And then coughed it up. Was he down? That's the question. I started to say one of the best punt returns of the season for the Colts, who averaged 2 yards per punt return. But the question is, was he down before he lost the football?
Ruling on the field is the runner is down by contact.
We'll take another look at that and we'll see if this is challenged on a 51-yard punt. Four minutes gone by in the second quarter. The unexpected. Indianapolis has had the ball for 12.5 minutes. That last drive, 19 plays, a season high, and ended up with a field goal by Vinatieri. Here's Donald Brown on the handoff. Dan Orlovsky starting out at 7 for 7. Now 7 of 9 overall.
Yeah, I really like what I've seen from Orlovsky so far. It looks very comfortable in the pocket. The ball's coming out quick and making good reads and decisions with the football. I like his movement in the pocket. He's sliding around. 7 of 9 right now for 73 yards, and looks like he's in total command of this offense.
Second down and 9 for the Colts. Donald Brown broke a tackle. Makes his way up to the 40, stopped by Devin McCourty. picked up 7. Let's go to JB and Boomer for this NFL Today update.
Early going, it's a Mendenhall kind of day.
After a long pass interference call against the Bengals, here comes Rashard Mendenhall, his second touchdown run of the day. Steelers are up 14-0 in the second quarter over the Bengals.
In 5+ quarters, 4 touchdowns against Cincy this season. Back to Marv and Rich.
Well, gentlemen, one game separates the top 3 teams in the AFC North. Critical battle between the Steelers and the Bengals.
Colts have a 3rd down and 2. Orlovsky with time, nearly picked off. It is deflected. Broken up by Nate Jones, who was signed as a free agent by the Patriots earlier this week.
I'm not so sure he sees Nate Jones, who's going to fall off Reggie Wayne, and he gets right in the way of the throw to Austin Collie. And that's what happens. Nate Jones passes off one and falls back in for the other.
Second punt of the day for Pat McAfee. This from his 25. Edelman is back. Calls for the fair catch inside the 15-yard line. A 46-yard punt. When we return, Tom Brady will take the field. The Colts' new defensive coordinator, Mike Murphy, who took over this week from Larry Coyer. First down play for Brady. Off double coverage, that is broken up. Good hits by Cavell Connor and Jacob Lacey on Danny Woodhead. Coming up on the Sprint Halftime Report, join JB, Dan, Shannon, Boomer, and Coach Bill Cowher. All the latest NFL scores and highlights coming up on the Sprint Halftime Report. For those of you who may have just tuned in and you see the score 3-3, 9.5 to go here in the first half, there may be some anxiety among those who have wagered, shall we say, milkshakes?
That's right.
This is Woodhead. Stopped by Antoine Bethea as Danny Woodhead goes for 5. Woodhead signed by the Patriots after being cut by the Jets. Bill Belichick with his message all this week: don't look at the record. The only thing that matters is how we and the Colts perform on Sunday. In effect, he did not want his team taking the week off, even playing against a Colt club that is 0-11. Brady with the completion to the tight end Rob Gronkowski for 7. That's his first catch of the day, and it is a first down.
And this was the week where Coach Belichick jumped all over the players, and as Tom Brady told us on Friday, he was on them all week. He doesn't want anyone to get comfortable. He put together a tape of all the mistakes going back the last couple of weeks. He's trying to impress upon the team that this is where championship teams make their run.
That's Jarvis Green Ellis, met by the outside linebacker Cavell Connor. That's a pickup of 4. That was one of the more animated Friday practices that we have seen. Bill not letting up at all.
No, we saw it from Bill Belichick. We saw it from Bill O'Brien, the offensive coordinator, Dante Scarnecchia, making sure that the players are focused, realize the significance of this one.
Well, off the first no-huddle of the game for the Patriots, Brady able to connect with Gronkowski. Another New England first down. Antoine Bethea makes the stop. It's a 16-yard hookup. Once again, the Patriots to the line quickly. Green Ellis trying to make the turn, and he was cut off by Jacob Lacey. No gain on the play. Do you think there's a lack of no-huddles because of the new center in there, Nick McDonald?
Well, I was surprised we didn't see it earlier, Marv. I really anticipated this early in the game because of all the changes that they've had on the other side of the ball with Mike Murphy. Make it difficult for him. He hasn't called plays since '83. Go fast and furious. Makes it difficult for him to make substitutions.
Good job on the tackling of Aaron Hernandez out at midfield. A.J. Eads, who is playing for his one-time collegiate teammate in Iowa, Pat Angerer, sidelined with a knee injury. That taking place back in the first quarter. Danny Woodhead returns to the backfield for a 3rd and 6. It is a first down for New England. They're on the move. Deion Branch makes the catch. It's good for 7.
Well, you watch these receivers, they know exactly where the sticks are. Deion Branch knows he has to get at least a yard in front of the marker there. Very precise. When you watch them run routes in practice, they get to their depth. You know exactly where they need to be on each and every play.
Branch with his first catch of the day, number 500 of his career, as Woodhead tried to go off left guard. Picked up a couple. There's Deion Branch in his 10th season out of Louisville. Most valuable player, Super Bowl 39, back with New England after 4 seasons with the Seattle Seahawks.
Read it.
2nd and 8. Brady off the pump and off the mark. Pass intended for Branch.
Well, this was a poor decision by Tom Brady. You don't see a lot of him in the course of a game. He's going to start one side, and he's late working back the other side. Never feels the corner come back in. And just keep a look at Tom Brady's eyes. He's going to start to his right, and when he comes back, look how late he is. He never feels that corner fall back inside. The guy that's open is Woodhead on the boundary.
Brady 9 of 13, 75 yards. Has a 3rd and 8. Feeling some pressure. Diving catch is made inside the 30 by, Chad Ochocinco, who's hearing it from the crowd.
Well, they're excited to see him get a catch. It seems like it's been a while for Chad Ochocinco. It really took him a long time, I think, to get comfortable in this offense, and for Tom Brady to have the trust in Ochocinco.
Brady incomplete. That was thrown in front of Gronkowski. Chad Ochocinco, his penalty markers are down, was inactive last week. Question is, was it a coach's decision or the hamstring?
Offense number 72. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
It's called on the left tackle, Matt Light.
Well, you can see Chad, he has the speed. That's one thing that he can do. He's still a very good route runner. He can't fade and drift away at the top of that route. You see Tom Brady he's a very sound. You look at his technique and fundamentals. That's something that Tom was working on in practice on Friday. Very unusual to see a quarterback that's been in the league as long as Tom Brady still working on the technique and fundamentals.
Only the 12th catch of the season for Ochocinco. Woodhead on a 1st and 20 makes his way to the 35, tied up by Ernie Sims. So Woodhead picked up 4 on the play.
You almost get the sense when you watch the Patriots when they run the ball, it's almost to give the offensive linemen and the receivers a break in terms of the passing game. But when you throw the ball as well as the Patriots do, it certainly opens up some opportunities in the running game.
2nd down and 16. Long drive here by New England. It's the 13th play of this possession. And again, a short pickup by Woodhead, and you're hearing the boos from this crowd as Robert Mathis able to make the stop. Introducing NFL Magazine, the new official monthly magazine of the National Football League. Subscribe today at NFL.com/magazine. Bill Belichick, not that he cares, hearing the boos about play selection. 3rd down and 14.
Ram.
Brady able to work his way out of the pocket, completing for the first down to Wes Welker. 18-yard gain.
Well, Wes Welker is such a fine route runner. He's just so patient, and he knows how to create separation, whether it's man or zone. And Tom Brady does a really nice job stepping up inside, and he's going to have to do that a lot today with Freeney and Mathis. They do a great job getting up the field, forcing quarterbacks to step up inside.
Hernandez to the right, Branch left, goes to the ground again. Green Ellis battling his way, picked up 5. Antonio Johnson, Mario Addison combined to make the tackle.
You look at how the tables have turned here a little bit in the second quarter. The Patriots sat around a little bit in the first quarter and watched their defense play. Now their offense is putting together a nice long drive, giving their defense a chance to rest up.
Stephen Ridley has checked in. He's the lone deep back as Brady fires. End zone touchdown! Rob Gronkowski with his 12th touchdown of the season. Second-year tight end out of Arizona continues to put up enormous numbers. Point after by Gostowski. So New England on a 16-play drive takes a 10-3 lead. Reminder coming up on the Sprint Halftime Report. JB, Dan, Shannon, Boomer, Coach Bill Cowher will have all the latest NFL scores and highlights coming up on the Sprint Halftime Report. Well, earlier the Colts had a 19-play drive. Patriots now 16 plays, 86 yards for the first touchdown of the day. Rob Gronkowski is now 2 touchdown receptions away from setting a single season record for tight ends. The NFL record is 13. That's shared by the 49ers' Vernon Davis and also Antonio Gates of the San Diego Chargers. Tom Brady now has thrown at least 1 touchdown pass in 28 consecutive games. That extends his franchise record. Joe LaFage is back for the kick. Had a notion to run it out and then changed his mind.
Well, you go back to the touchdown. Wes Welker at the bottom of the screen. He's going to run the wide departure hitch. Gronkowski is going to run the seam. Now watch the safety. For some reason, he goes that way and not that way. It's too deep coverage. David Caldwell has to keep working to his left. And you look at my board. I'm not even making this up, Marv. Look, it says right on my board, red zone alert.
Yes.
87. Gronkowski on the post down the middle of the field. He's got 11 touchdowns already.
As your official fact checker, I do want to verify it was on your board.
You can't make that mistake. Inexperience.
Orlovsky hands it off to Adai, and he is gang tackled, led by Gerard Mayo. Picked up a yard.
Well, that's incredible. 290th career touchdown pass. Ties Johnny U for 7th all-time. What an incredible career Tom Brady has had. And really enjoyed sitting down with him on Friday. He was talking about the injury to Peyton Manning. He reflected back on his knee injury a couple years ago and just how much he missed not playing. Never take this game for granted.
Anything else on your board that you want to share with us?
I got all the secrets, Marv. I studied, you know me, I studied tape all week.
Yes, you do. But I like you've made, as we see the flag thrown, you've made the conversion from film.
Offense number 74. 5-yard penalty. Remains second down.
That's on the left tackle. Rookie out of Boston College, Anthony Costanzo. 4th penalty called on the Colts. Here we are approaching 2 minutes to play in the half. And each team with just 3 possessions.
Yeah, you got to make the most of them. You got to make them count.
And there is the 2-minute warning. Tom Brady and his Patriots in front of the Colts, 10-3. 2 minutes remaining, first half. Indianapolis from its 15, second down and 14 for Dan Orlovsky. And he floats it, nearly picked off. Devin McCourty in the area. McCourty making his return after a shoulder injury, sat out the last 2 games.
You can see just trying to work the slot to Collie and Garcon, and Really just an overthrow, and you expect to see a couple of them with Orlovsky because he doesn't have a ton of reps with Wayne Garcon in college.
4 straight incompletions. He had connected on his first 7 passes. Goes to the ground. Adai was able to bounce away, but he is hit for a loss. Gerard Mayo, the middle linebacker, making the stop. Timeout is called. 1:50 remaining. First half. Punting unit checked in for the Colts, so Pat McAfee is back at his 2-yard line. Julian Edelman, one of now 2 two-way players on the Patriot roster. Good hang time. Muffed, recovered, spinning move by Edelman, finds some running room. It's an adventure as he is dropped at the 39, a 47-yard punt, 3-yard return. Well, Rich, you may not be aware of this, but Tom Brady is now 134 yards away for most passing yards through 12 games in the history of the NFL, and the leader, a very youthful-looking Rich Gannon.
I'm just delighted to be on a graphic with
Wow.
Drew Brees and Tom Brady. That's
That is
pretty good.
very impressive. So you are the record holder through 12 games. Here is Brady unleashing. Went sideline for Chad Ochocinco, but he was out of bounds. Not able to hang on.
Well, Tom Brady tries to fit this into the 2-deep coverage. The corner is going to drop, and now Chad stays nice and wide, but he's not able to hold on to the ball before the safety. LaFace can come over there and knock it out.
2nd and 10. From inside the 40. The running back is Kevin Falk. Brady goes the middle, has the first down. Combining with Wes Welker, stopped by Gerard Powers. They are in the hurry-up. Clock is running.
Well, they jump the ball so quick. Brady gets him up there. He gets a play called.
Play fake. Again, sideline to stop the clock. Nicely done as Branch makes the catch and steps out, picks up the first down. Patriots do have 2 timeouts remaining, as do the Colts. That's a 13-yard gain.
Brady, watch how quiet Tom Brady is at the top of his drop. Look, he's just sitting there. No false steps.
Fake handoff again. Goes underneath. Falk. What a beautiful play. Kevin Falk. Stopped by Ernie Sims. Moves the chains. Another first down. Just under a minute left in the half. Falk remains in the backfield. Brady takes a long look, finds the open receiver. Again a first down. This time it is Tyquan Underwood, a 3-year man from Rutgers, who had a big drop last week against the Eagles. Would have had a touchdown, but was not able to hold on. So Underwood on the catch to set this up. Wes Welker. Down inside the 2, and a timeout is called. New England taking the timeout. They have 1 remaining, a 1st and goal for the Patriots.
Yeah, so methodical, Marv, and so patient from Tom Brady, working down the field, doing a good job spreading the ball around, and always willing to check the ball down to his back, Kevin Falk.
Play fake. Brady. Pass intended for Aaron Hernandez with 18 seconds left in the half. Looks like Gerard Powers is hurting as he was trying to cover Hernandez. Made a cut. Medical staff out to check the right cornerback, Gerard Powers. And we'll take a break. All right, now we will step away.
You see Gerard Powers going to the locker room and really think it's that left elbow. And going to see him doing his best to cover, and he just hyperextends the left elbow.
Rod Powers has had a solid season. Maybe the Colts' best defensive back. 2 interceptions, returning 1 for a touchdown, 3rd-round pick out of Auburn.
Apologize for our technical difficulties there. We had a good shot at Gerard Powers, and looks like he may have hyperextended that left elbow.
This is Green Ellis. Ben Jarvis Green Ellis from a yard out to extend the lead for the Patriots. And Bill Belichick, who likes to do a lot of shuffling, had Donald Thomas, a backup offensive lineman, in at fullback. And a very large fullback at 6'4", 310 pounds. Steven Gostkowski puts it right through. So with 13 seconds remaining in this first half, the Patriots extend to a 17-3 lead.
Boy, it was going so well for the Colts early in the game. They got off to a good start in that first quarter. Marv, they dominated time possession, but in the second quarter, completely different story. Colts defensively couldn't get off the field on 3rd down, and Brady and that offense just methodically worked their way down the field with that short and intermediate passing game, and they mixed in a couple runs as well.
Eight plays, 60 yards in less than a minute and a half for the Patriots. So New England with 2 touchdowns within 2 minutes and 44 seconds.
Yeah, I mentioned that first possession by the Colts. They went 19 plays and 68 yards in 10 minutes and 19 seconds. The other 3 possessions, all 3 and outs. And they lead the National Football League right now with 44 3 and outs. That is demoralizing to a football team.
Joe LaFage back deep. And Gostkowski puts it on the ground. LaFage lets it roll through the end zone. They'll bring it out to the 20-yard line. Well, last week it was guest Tom Brady and a mic'd-up Harbaugh Thanksgiving. Who will catch the holiday spirit this week behind the scenes and ahead of the game? It is inside the NFL Wednesdays on Showtime. Still 13 seconds left in the half. Indianapolis Colts 0-11 coming in. Not only winless, they have 3 losses by more than 20 points, including that 62-7 defeat at the hands of New Orleans. They've been in several games in the fourth quarter. And this one busted open by the Patriots late in the first half. At the end of the half, Patriots have a 17-3 lead. We'll be back with the Spread halftime report after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Brady fires, end zone, touchdown! Welcome back to Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, where the Patriots have extended to a 17-3 lead on the Colts. As we head to the second half, let's take a look at the Droid Razor Play presented by Motorola. And this was late in the first half. Tom Brady finding the tight end Rob Gronkowski on an 11-yard pass play, and that extended to a 10-3 advantage. And then a minute later, they make it 17-3. Marv Albert with Rich Gannon, and I did, as your official fact finder, verify that on your extensive chart. Look at this. If anybody can read this.
Red zone alert. 87 on the post down the middle of the field. I mean, I'm watching tape. I'm watching film during the week. Rob Gronkowski in the red zone. That's where Tom Brady's going to throw the football.
So you're saying that should have been picked up without any question by the Colts?
Yeah, you know, false step. And all it takes is a false step or two against Tom Brady to get yourself out of position. He knows where the holes are in the coverage.
Can I just take a look at this once again?
You can use that for the second half.
How you are able to read this?
That's a method to my madness, believe it or not.
I don't know. Wow.
It's a lot of film study.
You know, it reminds me of a doctor writing a prescription.
That's right. Well, here's the problem. You look at the first half stats, and the numbers in the first quarter were awesome for the Colts, but the second quarter not so good. And they've got to get back to what they did in the first quarter by playing real good defense, getting off the field on third down, and putting some long drives together. And you don't get a lot of opportunities against the Patriots team. Tom Brady, that guy right there, is not going to make a lot of mistakes.
17 of 23, 179 yards, including a touchdown. Patriots receive as this second half gets underway. Edelman will run it out. Across the 15 to the 20 and then pulled down from behind. 27-yard return. Jacob Lacey makes the tackle.
Yeah, I thought the numbers were pretty good for Tom Brady. And Dan Orlovsky got off to a great start in the first quarter, but didn't get a lot of chances in the second quarter. And, you know, they're going to have to be able to open up this offense a little bit. Let Dan Orlovsky throw the ball a little bit here in the second half.
Orlovsky completing his first 7 and then incomplete. His final 4. Stephen Ridley. Split wide to the left. He's in the backfield. Welker makes the catch, a short gain. Cavell Connor with the stop, picked up 5.
And again, no huddle. They don't give you a chance to catch your breath as a defense. And, you know, before you know it, Wes Welker has 10 or 12 catches.
Right now, the number is 7. Come on! Deion Branch has the first down and some more. That's good for 17.
Well, you see Deion Branch at the top of your screen, and everyone is looking at Welker. Welker really works as a screen for Deion Branch, and those corners are playing very soft on the outside. Look how far off they are in terms of the receivers.
Good protection again for Brady. Goes underneath. Another first down, and Welker with his 8th catch and number 90 on the season.
Yeah, they're just getting up to the line of scrimmage so quick we can't even run a replay, but their corners are playing so far off of these receivers, and Tom Brady's getting the ball out of his hands so quick, he's really neutralizing that pass rush.
Are you complaining about the hurry-up? Does not allow you to get it to replay. Here's Welker with yet another catch.
Well, it is frustrating. It doesn't even allow me to draw all these good routes up. And, you know, Wes Welker, we're seeing so much zone coverage from the Colts, and all Welker and Branch are doing is just working up and finding a hole against that secondary.
And you can see how New England has turned things around. Slow start of the first quarter. Catch made by Welker. It's pitch and catch here between Tom Brady and Wes Welker. Cavell Connor on the stop.
And all they're doing is having Welker just work up the field 8-10 yards and sit down, whether it's against a safety or a walked linebacker. They're just making it look very, very easy.
Brady again completes. Aaron Hernandez refusing to go down, and then brought down by David Caldwell, the strong safety who's filling in for the injured Melvin Bullock.
You got to mix things up if you're the Colts defensively. They're playing so much zone coverage. You're going to have to mix in a couple snaps of man-to-man to disrupt the timing and the rhythm of the passing. Look how far off this secondary is. Somebody's got to get up and start jamming these receivers.
Brady throwing, touchdown! Again, it is Rob Gronkowski.
I just don't know how this happens. You see the corner's not aware, the linebacker, the safety, there's no communication, and Bethea, he's working back towards the middle of the field. Everyone's running away from Rob Gronkowski in the red zone. Look at that, 13 receiving touchdowns this season, the most by tight end in NFL history. If you don't find 87 in the red zone, you're out of your mind.
Gostowski adds the extra point. So New England pulling away to a 24-3 lead. On that 77-yard drive by the Patriots, Brady goes 7 for 7. He is now 24 for 30, throwing his second touchdown to the tight end Rob Gronkowski. 13th touchdown of the season for Gronkowski, which ties an NFL record for tight ends. LeFevre on the return and gets it up near the 15, stopped by Tracy White. Back in Foxborough, Marv Albert, Rich Gannon. Patriots, after a slow start, now have a 24-3 lead early in this third quarter as the Colts start out from their 15-yard line. Orlovsky completes to the tight end, Jacob Tamme. Not much there. He's met by Gerard Mayo. Picked up 5 on the play. Talking with Dan Orlovsky last night, he said there'll be a large contingent of family and friends here today. He grew up in Shelton, Connecticut, but he says most of his friends are Patriot fanatics. He says not fans, fanatics.
Yeah, even his sister Christine, he says she's a huge Tom Brady fan. How about that?
In fact, he mentioned that she probably will be here wearing the number 12 jersey. Again, the pass to the tight end, Jacob Tamme, right at the marker. And he has the first down.
Well, Orlovsky spent some time this week consulting with Peyton Manning, and Peyton gave him some good advice as he got ready to make his first start in a long while in terms of how to play and how to prepare for the New England Patriots. And the best piece of advice that he gave Orlovsky, he said, you've got to be patient against Bill Belichick and this defense.
Well, if you're Peyton Manning, it works. A dive finding a hole. If Peyton Manning were with this Colt team, what do you think their record would be?
I really believe they have a winning record. Or I'm not suggesting they'd be 9-2 or anything like that, but you got to think that they'd have a winning record. He was able to overcome a lot of shortcomings around him. And not only do you lose Peyton Manning, the player, you lose Peyton Manning, the coach, and Peyton Manning, the leader. I mean, he knew this offense as well as anybody. And boy, without him in here, they just don't look the same.
2nd and 2. Delon Carter, who just came on, picks up the first down. Carter, rookie from Syracuse, a 4th-round draft pick. Do you feel that Peyton Manning is the most irreplaceable player in the NFL? Remember when Tom Brady went down, Matt Castle played in, did well, not at the level of Brady, but did an excellent job. I would think with the Colts it's more complicated, that Peyton is basically quarterback / offensive coordinator along with Clyde Christensen.
Yeah, they helped build this thing. I mean, this has been a work in progress for years, and without them, you know, that they're not able to do the same things.
Anthony Hill, the backup tight end, makes the catch. It's a 4-yard gain. Nate Jones with the tackle.
Well, you go back to the 2008 season when Tom Brady goes down with that knee in week 1 against Kansas City. They were able to go, 11-5 that season, and you look at, the fact that without Manning, they've been 0-11. Look at the points per game. I mean, that's down almost 50%. The turnovers are a -11. And, You're looking at two eventual Hall of Fame players, and the Patriots were able to kind of win some games without Tom Brady. Certainly the Colts have had no answers.
2nd down and 5, and Carter took a hard hit, not able to make it to the 50 as he goes for 3. We heard from Peyton on the NFL Today earlier. We talked with him last night. That neck has healed firmly enough to improve the intensity of his workouts. Has been rehabbing, but the good news is the next step will be lifting weights, throwing. It's part of the next progression. He says it will eventually be accelerated. What that means as to whether he would look to return or the Colts would even want him to get into a game, I don't think anyone knows at this point, as Carter picks up the first down and then coughs it up. Recovered by the Patriots. Kyle Arrington on the football. Gerard Mayo along with Matthew Slater making that hit. Well, you can see the turnover differential for Indianapolis as Carter coughed it up after what appeared to be a pretty good run. Stephen Ridley getting the call for the Patriots. He's a rookie out of LSU, stopped by Antoine Bethea, picked up 9 on the play. Well, Rich, it's all over in terms of being by yourself with the record in the first 12 games of an NFL season. Tom Brady has passed you back. I know this is very emotional.
Well, if it's going to have to happen, at least it's Tom Brady. Thanks, Marv.
Okay?
I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Were you even aware of that record? Ridley has a first down for New England. Were you aware at all that that record existed?
I don't have a whole lot left, but you think about that's just one of many for Tom Brady, and just how well he just seems to play, and he just has complete command of the offense. He's the air traffic controller out there. You watch him direct traffic, get guys lined up, get him in the right play, and he rarely wastes plays. It's a good job deciphering everything that's in front of him.
In effect, as Brady fires downfield for Aaron Hernandez. Picked up 23 and another Patriot first down. Joe LaFage making the stop.
And LaFage, he's in pretty good coverage, but this is a perfect throw and catch. A little back shoulder for Aaron Hernandez, and that's what these tight ends give you. They not only can they run, but they can make some awkward catches.
And a screen for Hernandez, picked up 5. A.J. Eads on the tackle. In effect, you were very well aware of the record, and now he says,
well, I put the graphic together.
I'm piling it on, Gannon.
I love how the Patriots utilize the tight ends in this offense. You're going to see Hernandez, you see Gronkowski. Soldier will come in sometime and play tight end.
Out of the gun again. Brady running for the first down.
We were talking to Tom on Friday about why he decides to slide on his left where he's got that knee braced, and I think one of the reasons why is he doesn't want to slide on his right shoulder. He's always very conscious of that throwing arm.
Patriots first down from the 20-yard line. Here's Ridley. Stephen Ridley averaging 5 yards a carry. He's carried it just 40-plus. It's a very complete and well-utilized group of running backs by Bill Belichick, with Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis, and Danny Woodhead, and Kevin Falk. Shane Vereen is not dressed today, and Ridley. Here's pass underneath. Gronkowski. David Caldwell makes the stop. That's a 9-yard hookup and another first down, and they are just moving up and down the field.
It's the tempo, Marvin. It's just fast and furious, and you can hardly get lined up, and you can see right now the Colts really having a tough time with their communication.
This time to the ground for Ridley, and he is wrapped up. Brady has completed his last 10 passes.
And when he gets in a rhythm, he's hard to stop, and the tackles have done a really nice job. Matt Light and Nate Solder on the other side did a really good job with Freeney and Mathis and giving Tom Brady a chance to step up inside. But the ball comes out so quick. He's so deliberate. He knows exactly where he wants to go with the ball most of the time before the ball is even snapped.
All right, does he go for Gronkowski to set the tight end record?
No, he's going to move him. Gronkowski may come in to block a little bit.
Swing pass. Here's Gronkowski. Touchdown.
You called it, Mark.
That's from watching film.
That's your film study. Well, he's just going to work across the formation. And he's got 3 lead blockers out in front of him. This is almost like cheating. It's like stealing. It's like taking candy from a baby. It's a big target for Tom Brady down in that part of the field.
And here is Steven Gostkowski for the extra point. Rob Gronkowski with his 3rd touchdown of the day. Standing ovation a moment ago for Rob Gronkowski, who now has the single-season record for touchdowns by a tight end, passing by Vernon Davis and Antonio Gates. 9 plays, 66 yards. A red-hot Tom Brady after a slow start. LeFevre taken down just before the 15-yard line. Here's Rob Gronkowski, who caught that touchdown a moment ago and received a standing ovation when the scoreboard revealed that he had set a record for a tight end. Now the official scorer has ruled it a lateral. Donald Brown gets the call. Players being separated by the officials. We'll get another look at that play from Brady. So it is not a touchdown pass.
Well, you're going to see Gronkowski come in motion, and he's just going to belly. And watch right here. He just a little bit of a lateral. And this one is going to make Tom Brady upset. Not Gronkowski still gets the credit for the touchdown, not a reception. But Tom Brady, of course, doesn't get the credit for the touchdown throw.
So they remain tied at 13 in terms of the tight end record. A penalty marker is thrown. Looking at the replay, I don't think there's any question it was a lateral.
Yeah, it was close. Usually they give you the benefit of the doubt if it's...
Offense number 74. 5-yard penalty.
It's the left tackle, Anthony Costanzo. Let's go to NFL Today for an update with JB and Boomer.
Boomer, Tim Tebow.
It's Tebow time. 4-6, 29 yards in the first half throwing. How about this one? 21 yards to Demaryius Thomas. They tack on the extra point. Vikings still lead 15-14. A little early for Tebow time right now.
Tebow 6-9, 67 yards and a touch. Marv and Rich.
Well, no turnovers from Tim Tebow the last month, guys. That's a big reason why the Broncos are winning.
Donald Brown picks up 3, met by Vince Wilfork. Getting back to the Patriots, they have scored touchdowns in their last 4 possessions.
Yeah, they're just rolling, and it's the tempo and in and out. They're lining up, they're jumping the ball, and not giving the Colts a whole lot of time to get set. We've seen a number of times now where they've had some communication issues on the back end.
Orlovsky looking at a 3rd down and 9 as we come up on 2 minutes to go in this 3rd quarter. Able to complete underneath to Brown. Has a 1st down. Donald Brown is taken out of bounds by Matthew Slater, who's going the 2-way route. A la Edelman and in the past Troy Brown. 15 yards on that play.
Bill Belichick told us on Friday he couldn't tell you how many different times players have come up to him and volunteered to help play somewhere else. I think it speaks volumes of the type of players that they have here in New England. And that's not generally how it is in other NFL cities. I mean, players are very concerned about getting hurt, the perception, and ultimately the bottom line, getting paid.
Here's Brown once again. Matthew Slater, usually a wide receiver and kick return man.
This goes way back to Troy Brown in the 2004 season. He's the one that really got it started, and then Julian Edelman, he comes in and does it. Now we see Slater doing it. Bill takes athletic players that are comfortable playing in space, good tacklers on special teams, and he tries them out on the scout team in defense, and then he begins over the course of the season to gradually work them in.
Orlovsky throwing incomplete, intended for the tight end Anthony Hill. And Matthew Slater is the son of Hall of Famer Jackie Slater, who spent 20 years, which is unheard of, with the LA Rams.
Yeah, he was a great left tackle, and he blocked for all those wonderful quarterbacks for the Rams. And you see Matthew Slater there, he's breathing heavy, and you're thinking a lot now. This is something that's unusual for him. You've got to be able to help him now and communicate, but these guys do a nice job fitting in and making plays without a whole lot of reps.
3rd and 9 for the Colts. And here they come. Orlovsky has a first down. Complete to Austin Collie for 9.
We see how the Patriots have been just working the zones. You're going to see Collie here. He does the same thing. He's just going to go up and sit, with Pierre Garçon doing essentially the same thing on the outside lane. I think Dan Orlovsky has really handled himself well. He's thrown the ball well, 12 of 17 for 113 yards, no touchdowns. He looks very comfortable in this offense.
A dive, straight ahead move for 6. As we come to a close to the 3rd quarter. It has been all New England Patriots. After 3, a 31-3 lead on Indianapolis. We'll return to Foxborough after this message and a word from your local station. After the slow start, just a field goal in the first quarter, 28 points put on the board by the Patriots in the second and third quarters. 4th quarter underway. Orlovsky completing to Garçon. Has the first down. Will Fork with the tackle, a 6-yard hookup.
You get a good look at Clyde Christensen there, the offensive coordinator. And it hasn't been an easy season for him either. You think about losing Peyton Manning and how traumatic that can be for a play caller. They bring in the veteran Kerry Collins. He goes down, and then it's Curtis Painter and now Dan Orlovsky. And I think, as he said last night, the hardest part was having to switch philosophies at such a late date. You've had to run the football more, and it really changed for each quarterback that has played in this offense.
Joseph Adai picks up 6. I remember earlier this season in talking with Clyde Christensen, said how difficult it is to make the transition from Peyton Manning, which is obvious, but he said you're doing doctorate level work for 11 years, and then he's gone, which hurts, as you've talked about earlier, both sides of the ball.
Well, he had so many reps and so much history in this offense. He was able to do so much at the line of scrimmage. He had great flexibility and freedom. You just don't have that now with some of these other quarterbacks.
Play fake by Orlovsky. Diving catch is made for a first down. Reggie Wayne on the reception. It's good for 13.
And this is impressive to see from Orlovsky. This ball comes out real early. And I love to see great anticipation. You're going to watch Reggie Wayne. This ball, as he comes out, it's already on him. And that's impressive when you think that Orlovsky has not had a lot of reps with the first-team offense.
First down inside the 30-yard line. Early fourth quarter here at Foxborough, where the Patriots have won 18 of their last 19 at home in the month of December. Orlovsky once again completes right at the marker, has Garcon. Devin McCourty with the stop, picked up 12, another first down for Indianapolis.
Well, this New England secondary has really struggled, dead last in pass defense, and this is a big reason why. You see the separation between the corner and the receiver, and they've given up too many big plays. The one thing they've done a good job of today is keep things in front of them. Belichick did not like how they started last week, giving up those two big post patterns to the Eagles.
Garcon, the swing pass. Nate Jones is right there. Nate Jones, who was signed as a free agent this week, getting a lot of work. Defensive back out of Rutgers.
Well, they've had so much change at the safety position. You know, Patrick Chung's not playing. We saw Sterling Moore. Now we're seeing Slater in there and running a lot of different players through there. And that really affects not only the continuity, but certainly the communication at each level of that defense.
2nd down and 7. Donald Brown. And he is gang tackled, picked up 4. Now, Indianapolis has scored only 3 points, but they have been able to certainly pick up a considerable amount of yardage here today. That's been the story throughout the season with New England, which at the defensive end, even though they're 8-3, has had some games where they've struggled. Can they win in the playoffs with this defense?
They can if Tom Brady and that offense continue to score 35 each week. And I think they're going to be challenged here as they face some better offenses come January.
Donald Brown gets to the 5. Let's see where they spotted Mark Anderson making the tackle.
I certainly don't think this Patriots defense is on the same level as a Pittsburgh or a Baltimore, but then at the same time, I don't know that those teams have the same offense and the same production right now at the quarterback position that the Patriots have. So it's kind of 6 in one, half dozen in the other. I like the way the Patriots have played defensively the last 5 weeks. You know, they give up the yards, but they're very, very stingy in this part of the field.
They pick up the first down, 1st and goal at the 5. 15th play of this drive for the Colts. Donald Brown to the outside. Brown is in. Touchdown. Donald Brown, 3-year man out of UConn with his 4th touchdown of the season.
Well, what happens is Devin McCourty has missed a lot of time, and you're going to see him. He's going to be coming down. He's got run support, and he takes a poor angle initially. Now you've got to make this tackle, and you're not going to make that one up high on a back like Donald Brown.
Adam Vinatieri on for the extra point. Gone by on the 4th. 31-10, New England. Thursday on CBS, the next person these two heroes must protect is the one person who can blow their cover. Person of interest, new episode Thursday only, CBS. Danny Woodhead and Julian Edelman are both back for the kick from Pat McAfee. Edelman with Woodhead in front of him. How about a cut back the other way, and then taken down at the 20-yard line. Well, Tom Brady making his way back. He's already thrown for 2 touchdowns. Patriots start out from their 20-yard line. Play fake by Brady, guns it. And it is incomplete, intended for Deion Branch. Obviously, Tom Brady has had a magnificent game coming on from the 2nd quarter moving forward. But at what point do you think of lifting him?
I think after this series, you got to be smart. You go back a couple of years ago, week 17, they lose Wes Welker to a knee injury. And I don't think you ever forget that if you're Bill Belichick.
Ridley takes the handoff. Stephen Ridley, backup running back, a third-round draft pick out of LSU, and he goes for 6.
I was really impressed with what we saw out of Tom Brady at practice on Friday. They had a handheld camera behind him during practice. They shoot his throwing motion and his footwork. It's a special program that they then shoot to his home computer, and he goes home on Friday nights and he watches the whole thing.
On 3rd and 4, they come up short on that pass to Wes Welker. Antoine Bethea is right there. So the numbers on Brady: 28 for 34 and 296 yards.
And look how angry he is. And, you know, we talked to him about how he's so particular about his location on throws and his accuracy. And he's very technically and mechanically sound. And I really enjoyed that conversation. You know, they said they teach you how to tackle, but no one really teaches you, no one's really qualified to teach you how to throw.
There is Mesco getting the good hang time and a fair catch called for by Pierre Garçon. Tom Brady upset, looking for the first down on that pass to Wes Welker, and upset with himself.
That's a perfectionist.
Take another shot at yourself. Indianapolis starting out at their 24-yard line. 9 minutes remaining in this 4th quarter, with New England on top 31-10. Orlovsky throwing the middle, diving catch for the first down. Pierre Garçon on a 19-yard pass play. So Orlovsky now 17 for 22.
Well, you look at some division leaders. Raiders really struggling today. They're 1-9 in the Eastern time zone since the start of the 2008 season. And look at that battle in Houston. Atlanta 10, Houston 10. TJ Yates, the rookie, getting his first ever start for the Houston Texans. And they lose Schaub a couple weeks ago, Leinart last week. And now they're down to the 3rd quarterback.
And those scores, as Adai is stopped after a 1-yard gain. All those scores good for New England, vying for best record in the AFC, tied with Houston, Pittsburgh, and Baltimore, and Oakland also in the hunt at 7-4 coming in. Raiders consistently have problems when they come east.
Yeah, and they had the big story this week was Rolando McClain, their linebacker, and had an incident with a gun supposedly down in Alabama. Big decision whether or not Hugh Jackson was going to play him, and that was a distraction. You don't need distractions this time of the year.
Orlovsky's pass to the sideline, caught by Garçon. He was in bounds right at the marker. It is a first down.
As you and I have been having these conversations, I've been looking out of the corner of my eye at Dan Orlovsky. He's made some really nice throws in this drive. And you look off the safety. He's getting the ball out in front, making good, accurate throws. Really had a strong day. It hasn't gone well necessarily around him. The defense has struggled, but this guy has played well.
He's hit his last 7, and that is picked off. Gerard Mayo with a beautiful play on the interception. That ball was thrown with great velocity, and somehow Mayo came up with it. The interception of Orlovsky by Mayo, Gerard Mayo, who last year made the Pro Bowl for the first time, coming up with that pick. So the Patriots back to the offense, starting out from their 44-yard line. High snap handled by Brady, swings it, Hernandez. Stopped in his tracks by Jacob Lacey, loss of 3. Aaron Hernandez missed a couple of games early in the year with a strained knee.
How about this, up 31-10, and they're still going no huddle. The score means nothing to them. They're just going to run their offense the way they see fit.
And Brady has it punched away. Pass intended for Hernandez inside the 35-yard line. LaFege made a good play.
And this isn't something we've seen much of today, just an underthrown ball by Tom Brady. He's got to get this one out in front of Aaron Hernandez. He's got LaFege beat. Sometimes you try and steer it as a quarterback rather than just pull the string and throw it. Boy, Hernandez, when you see him separate, he runs routes more like a receiver than a tight end.
Third down and 13. Brady 29 for 37, 293 yards. Brady took a hit, came up short.
This is why you get Tom Brady out of the game, and you don't want to see your quarterback take a hit like this and just see him holding the football. And Ricardo Matthews gets a pretty good shot on Tom Brady as he's following through with that right arm.
Punting unit has come on. LaFege back as the single safety. Here is Mesco. Just did get it away. Late signal for the fair catch, and LaFege had to make that circus catch. 52-yard punt.
Well, just misjudges it a little bit. It's actually dive to make the catch, and look who's right there to cover that kick. Matthew Slater.
Coming up on the Subway postgame show, join JB, Dan, Shannon, Boomer, and Coach Bill Cowher for all the latest NFL scores and highlights coming up on the Subway postgame. Indianapolis starting out deep in their own territory. They're back at their 7. Orlovsky going sideline to Wayne, so Reggie Wayne makes the catch for 6 yards, covered by Kyle Arrington.
You kind of feel for Dan Orlovsky. He can be the quarterback who helps the Colts avoid an 0-16 finish, or he can be the one who gets stuck as a starting quarterback on 2 different 0-16 teams. We mentioned he's with Detroit in 2008. Certainly that's not something he wants on his resume.
Running back is Donald Brown, and Brown is stacked up. So the Indianapolis Colts headed for a record of 0-12, the worst records in the history of the NFL. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers in 1976, 0-14, and the Detroit Lions in 2008. With Dan Orlovsky, as you mentioned, part of that as they go 0-16, and you look at the rest of the schedule for Indianapolis. Orlovsky completes to Austin Collie for a first down. Next week, the Colts play at Baltimore, then home for Tennessee, then Houston, 2 clubs that are battling for the playoffs and playoff position, and they'll finish at Jacksonville on the 1st of January.
A lot of people think that maybe their only chance of getting a win this season is on January 1st at Jacksonville. Jacksonville's got their own issues and a rookie quarterback in Blaine Gabbert that's struggling, but boy, the schedule the next 3 weeks at Baltimore, Tennessee, and Houston are going to be brutal.
Coming up on 5 minutes to play in the 4th quarter. The catch is made by Collie, but he lost his balance. 4-yard gain.
It's not fun to be a part of, and we got a chance to listen to Peyton Manning in our pregame show, and we talk about how disappointing it is. You lose good people. You fired Larry Corey this week. A quarterback loses his job, and Curtis Painter, he's got to sit and watch. And
a hard hit as Jacob Tabby made the catch.
The reality is, Marv, is that there'll be more changes. Players, we always hear the expression, players playing for their jobs, and that's just what's happening.
Jamesy Headybone with that powerful hit on Tabby. It's Donald Brown. Picked up 4. Tracy White on the stop.
See Jim Caldwell there You look at the coaching staff. That's the same guy that coached them 2 years ago to a 14-0 start. So I know he knows how to coach football. And very disappointing season for him and for this football team, but he's not going to waver. He'll keep preparing his football team, keep getting them ready to play. And the one thing you know about this business is the one constant is change. You know, there'll be changes with the staff probably, there'll be changes with players. And
it appears that Brian Hoyer, backup quarterback to Tom Brady, is starting to warm up. 3-year man out of Michigan State. Orlovsky over the top, and again has Colley for a first down.
See Dan Orlovsky picking himself off the ground a lot today. He's been getting hit quite a bit. He's stood in there with a tough jaw, and he's made some good throws. You just see the clean hit. They don't even block Gerard Mayo, and he gets a good shot on Dan Orlovsky right in the head. You don't hear from the commissioner on that one.
Donald Brown on the handoff, met by Vince Wilfork, picked up 4 yards. We talked a bit about Peyton Manning earlier. It's kind of intriguing that the Colts have kept him on the active roster all season and even continue to list him as the #1 quarterback on the depth chart that's released to the media, although he has been sidelined. And listen, it leads to a number of questions as to what do the Colts do next season. Orlovsky, leaping attempt by Pierre Garçon, but was hit from behind by Sterling Moore. Now, if they get the #1 pick, do they take Andrew Luck, keep both Luck and Manning with Peyton's huge contract plus that $28 million option bonus for next year? There's also the unknown because of Manning's 3 neck procedures, 1 hard hit, and could sideline Manning again. So do Jim Irsay and Bill Polian start over with a rookie who is highly regarded, but as you know, there are never any guarantees there. Or you stay with Peyton with a guy like Andrew Luck as the backup? That's a multiple choice question for you. Orlovsky throwing deep downfield for Garçon. Touchdown. Garçon with the touchdown reception, his 5th touchdown of the season.
Well, Sterling Moore is a safety, and he's matched up on Pierre Garçon, and that's not what you want if you're the Patriots. And see the frustration from Pierre Garçon. Very nice throw there by Dan Orlovsky. Another nice throw.
Garçon beating Matthew Slater and Sterling Moore, and led beautifully by Orlovsky as Vinatieri puts it through. And with 2 minutes and 12 seconds remaining, it is now a 31-17 lead for the Patriots.
Well, you get a look here at Andrew Luck, and had a chance last night to talk to his coach, David Shaw. He's got plenty of arm strength. He doesn't try and overthrow it. Does a good job diagnosing things and getting the ball out quick. He can make plays with his legs. Very smart, ultra competitive, very good leader. And I just think if you're the Indianapolis Colts, certainly you want to find out what's going on with Peyton Manning. I think it would be very respectful of his situation. He's had an incredible career, and I still think he's got plenty of football left in him. And I'm not just talking about average football. I'm talking about special football from Peyton Manning. He's as good as there is, and you know, he just got the green light, Marv, in terms of being able to kick up his rehab program a little bit. And trust me, he will wear out those trainers and strength and conditioning coaches at that facility. He will work as hard as he does in terms of preparing with his rehab, and my sense is he'll be back. And if you're the Indianapolis Colts, I just don't know how you can pass up a player like Andrew Luck. I think you bring in Andrew Luck, you have him lured behind Peyton Manning. The rookie weight scale certainly works out. It makes sense for the Colts.
All right, Patriots playing for the onside kick. And here it is, but too much lift on it. And a flag is down as may have been an offside. Kudavides was able to come up with it.
Offside. Receiving team, number 59. 5-yard penalty and a re-kick.
All right, they'll do it again. Gary Guyton is called on that offside. Meanwhile, a solid game for Dan Orlovsky. 25 for 32, 263 yards, 1 touchdown, and picked off once.
I think he's played well enough, certainly, to earn another start next week and probably the rest of the way. And, you got to find out about Dan Orlovsky. I was impressed with the way he handled himself in a very difficult situation. And, we talk about the fact he hasn't had a lot of experience, Marv, and yet he's been in the league, 8 seasons. And I just thought that he really threw the ball well today. Very impressive performance, I thought, from Dan Orlovsky. Much more accurate than what we've seen from Curtis Painter this season.
Only the third penalty called on the Patriots, who have been penalized just 3 times each of the last 2 games.
We should probably see something different from Pat McAfee. You can't try the same thing. They've got a couple different kicks up, and they're pretty similar.
Well, this one puts on the ground. The other one had too much lift. And the Patriots are on it. It's Rob Gronkowski who comes up with the ball. Coming up on the Subway postgame show, join JB, Dan, Shannon, Boomer, and Coach Bill Cowher for all the latest around the NFL. Scores and highlights all coming up on the Subway postgame. And Brian Hoyer makes his first appearance of the season. Appeared in 5 games in each of the past 2 years. In his 3rd year out of Michigan State. So Hoyer comes on for Brady, and Ridley gets the call. Two-minute warning. 31-17, New England. Nice shot of the sunset here in the New England area. We're in Foxborough, where the Patriots have been in command following the first quarter, where they put up a field goal, and that was it. Stephen Ridley, rookie out of LSU, gets the call.
How about those numbers there, huh, Marv? Through 12 games, certainly on pace to break that record by our guy Dan Marino back in the studio, and 5,084 yards. It's not easy to do, particularly when the weather starts to change here in December, late December. So Tom's going to have to hope for a couple more nice days like this.
Colts taking a timeout. Speaking of the month of December, a look at the rest of the Patriots schedule at Washington, at Denver, then Miami and Buffalo here at home. New England 18-1 at home in December since Gillette Stadium opened up, and this would make it 19-1 and 18 straight victories. Once again, the handoff, and it's Ridley. Stop, no gain on the play. Philip Wheeler able to make the tackle. Timeout again called by the Colts. And the owner of the New England Patriots, Bob Kraft, spending a very happy afternoon as his New England, I should say the owner of the New England Patriots, Bob Kraft, having a very happy afternoon here at Foxborough.
He's not had a lot of bad afternoons here, I can tell you that. You just mentioned the record, Marv, and they've been incredible. I think the best compliment I can pay Robert Kraft, who's always so gracious to us when we come to town to do the games, is I would have loved to have played for him as a player. This is a first-class operation. They have leadership at every level, from the ownership, the general manager, the head coach, to the quarterback. There's a reason why they've had so much success.
Punt, fair catch called for, made by Garcon. Well, tonight on 60 Minutes, Michael Bublé has the #1 Christmas album in the country and an inspiring success story to go along with it. To get a preview right now, simply call *60. That's *60 from your mobile phone. Rich, I saw you dialing just before the game.
That's right. Get a good look at Bill Belichick there. I know he doesn't want to hear it, but the Patriots have the easiest remaining strength of schedule in the NFL. Opponents have a combined 18-37 record.
Caught by Reggie Wayne. Gerard Mayo makes the stop. Pick up a 15 with the time running down, 1.5 minutes remaining. Have you ever seen Michael Bublé?
Not live. Not live.
On tape, on film.
Well, I've seen him on TV.
Okay.
Not live.
He is sensational.
Oh, I know.
Pass underneath for Austin Collie. And that's a pickup of 12.
I don't know how Austin Collie can catch the ball with that shield over his face mask there. It's tinted. You can't really see his eyes.
And again, pass underneath completed to Jacob Tammy this time for an 11-yard hookup. So the Patriots go to 9-3, and they will make it 4 straight wins. And here are the Colts. It's a clinical timeout.
Now you think about this game and you go back and look at this series between the Colts and the Patriots, and each of the last 6 games between these two teams have been decided by 7 points or less, with the Colts winning 4 of the 6. Of course, that was with Peyton Manning, and it's just a totally different operation. And how the loss of Peyton Manning not only impacts the offense, because they're not built to run the football and do those type of things, but even the defense, because the defense was put together with Freeney and Mathis to rush the passer and to play with the lead. So it's had a trickle-down effect on the entire organization.
And Indianapolis will drop to 0-12. Their worst record ever, a 1-15 in 1991. That pass for Garcon, a beautiful catch. And rolled out of bounds to stop the clock with 40 seconds to go. Devin McCourty on the coverage. Another beauty by Pierre Garcon.
Pierre Garcon right there does a nice job locating it and then creating a little bit of separation by just nudging Devin McCourty there right on the boundary.
It's a 40-yard pass play, and here is Orlovsky throwing end zone. Garcon, was he in possession? Yes, he was. Touchdown, Indianapolis.
They're going right after Devin McCourty. You can't ease up late in the 4th quarter. You lose a little bit of your concentration and your focus. You don't do a good enough job getting some jam or disrupting Pierre Garcon. He just gets a clean release and runs right by McCourty.
Obviously, that was more than just a clinical timeout, as Vinatieri comes on for the extra point, and this could be a 7-point game with just 36 seconds to play. New England with a 31-24 lead.
You look at Dan Orlovsky's numbers in the second half, and you look at statistics and what do they tell you? And sometimes they're skewed. But if you look at where the Patriots are ranked defensively, we talked about this coming in, Marv, they're dead last, 32nd in total defense, and they've given up 437 yards today, a lot of them coming here in the second half. The last 2 Colts drives, 93 yards and 90 yards. That's in over 180 yards of offense when the game was essentially over.
And the Colts were down 31-3 at one stretch.
Now you got a chance for an onside kick here.
36 seconds to play. This was not the score that
people
most people around the
anticipated.
country would would have expected.
And this is good to see the Colts. I mean, they did, they got behind and they didn't quit. They just kept chipping away, and probably not going to win this game, but certainly the effort and finish were there.
Well, it is handled by Deion Branch.
Pat McAfee just tries to bang this one up in the air and get some good height and hope that one of his teammates can get down there and make a play. Deion Branch out there with the hands team and get your... Tom Brady comes in to take the kneel down for the Patriots. Want to make sure they don't screw up the quarterback-center exchange.
21 straight points scored by the Indianapolis Colts, and that will do it. No, they did not want to take any chances. So once again, Bill Belichick will not be happy the way his team has closed out the game. They've had their problem this season.
Yeah, didn't finish real well in the fourth quarter, and that's something I think is disturbing. I think on the defensive side of the ball, and even offensively, they had a couple 3-and-outs there in the fourth quarter. Not the finish they were looking for late.
But the Patriots do go to 9-3. They maintain their division lead, and it's 4 straight wins, while Indianapolis drops to 0-12. Final score, Patriots 31 and the Colts 24. Coming up, the Subway postgame show for Rich Gannon. This is Marv Albert saying so long from Foxborough. You've been watching the NFL on CBS.